Did a fiery confrontation between two cardinals just expose the Catholic Church's deepest divide? Picture this. In the hallowed halls of the Vatican, where whispers of tradition and reform echo through centuries, Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke, a fierce defender of Catholic orthodoxy, reportedly unleashed a shocking verbal assault on Cardinal Luis Tagle, a beloved progressive ally of Pope Francis. Witnesses describe a room frozen in stunned silence as Burke's accusations cut through the air, challenging Tagle's loyalty to core church teachings. If you're wondering what this explosive clash means for the future of the Catholic Church, stick around. This isn't just a heated argument. It's a window into a seismic struggle that could reshape the Vatican. Hit subscribe and the notification bell, because this developing story is one you won't want to miss. Nobody could have predicted this level of drama in the usually restrained corridors of the Vatican. Imagine the tension. Cardinal Burke, a towering figure of traditionalism, his voice rising, finger pointing, accusing Cardinal Tagle of betraying the Church's sacred doctrines. Tagle, known for his warmth and humility, stood visibly shaken but composed, refusing to match Burke's intensity. Other cardinals, caught off guard, watched in disbelief, some fumbling to defuse the situation. This wasn't a private disagreement, it was a public eruption, and it's sending shockwaves through the global Catholic community. To understand why this moment is so significant, we need to dive into who these two men are, what they represent, and why their clash reveals a deeper fracture within the Church. Let's start with Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke. If you've followed Vatican politics, you know Burke is a lightning rod. A Wisconsin native and former Archbishop of St. Louis, he's the standard-bearer for traditional Catholic values, unapologetically vocal about preserving the Church's teachings on marriage, divorce, and its approach to issues like the LGBTQ+ community. Burke, now 76, has built a reputation as a theological heavyweight, advocating for the Latin Mass and a return to what he sees as the Church's timeless truths. His supporters view him as a courageous guardian of doctrine, standing firm against a world pushing for change. His critics, however, see him as a rigid obstacle to the Church's evolution, clinging to traditions that alienate younger generations. Burke's no stranger to controversy. He's openly challenged Pope Francis, even signing formal dubia, questioning the Pope's teachings, a rare and bold move in Vatican circles. On the other side stands Cardinal Luis Tagle, the 67-year-old Filipino cardinal affectionately called Chito. With his infectious smile and pastoral heart, Tagle is a rising star, often whispered as a future pope. As head of the Vatican's dicastery for evangelization, he's championed the Church's mission in Asia and Africa, emphasizing social justice, mercy, and inclusion, values aligned with Pope Francis's vision of a poor church for the poor. Tagle's journey from Archbishop of Manila to a key Vatican role has earned him admiration for his ability to connect with people, especially in developing nations. His critics, however, argue his progressive leanings risk diluting the Church's core teachings. Tagle's warmth and humility make him a stark contrast to Burke's stern resolve, setting the stage for a clash of not just personalities, but visions for the Church's future. According to reports, the confrontation unfolded during what should have been a routine meeting of cardinals. Without warning, Burke launched into a heated critique, accusing Tagle of undermining fundamental Church teachings. Witnesses described Burke as visibly angry, his words sharp and direct, pointing to Tagle's alignment with Francis's reforms as a betrayal of Catholic doctrine. Tagle, for his part, didn't retaliate. His composure, shocked yet calm, spoke volumes, reflecting a Christ-like restraint that contrasted with Burke's fervor. The room, filled with other cardinals, fell into an awkward silence, with only a few attempting to intervene, their efforts falling flat. This wasn't just a personal spat. It was a public display of a divide that's been simmering within the Church for years. This clash didn't happen in a vacuum. The Catholic Church is at a crossroads, grappling with internal and external pressures. Declining attendance in Western countries, evolving social norms around gender and sexuality, and the lingering shadow of abuse scandals have created fault lines between traditionalists like Burke, who demand unwavering adherence to doctrine, and progressives like Tagle, who advocate for a church that meets people where they are. Burke has long been a vocal critic of Pope Francis, challenging his emphasis on mercy over strict adherence to tradition. In 2023, Francis took the extraordinary step of removing Burke's Vatican apartment and stipend, a move framed as a reassignment but widely seen as a response to Burke's dissent. Tagle, meanwhile, has thrived under Francis, his leadership of the Church's missionary arm amplifying his influence. Their confrontation is a microcosm of this broader tension, a battle over the soul of Catholicism. The timing is critical. The Church faces unprecedented challenges: how to remain relevant in a secular world, how to address modern ethical questions, and how to heal from past scandals. These issues have polarized its leaders. Traditionalists argue that only fidelity to doctrine can preserve the Church's integrity, while progressives believe adaptation is essential to keep the faith alive. For a cardinal like Burke to confront Tagle so publicly, breaking the Vatican's usual decorum, suggests these divisions are reaching a boiling point. It's like glimpsing the tip of an iceberg, hinting at deeper conflicts hidden from view. What happens next could be pivotal. For Burke, this outburst risks further isolating him. While he commands loyalty among traditional Catholics, his aggressive approach may alienate even his supporters. Pope Francis has shown he's willing to discipline dissenters. Burke's 2023 reassignment is proof. Another public misstep could lead to further consequences, like removal from remaining roles or a formal rebuke. Yet, punishing Burke too harshly could inflame his base, deepening the Church's divide. His supporters might see it as persecution of orthodoxy, rallying around him as a martyr for tradition. For Tagle, the incident could bolster his reputation. His calm response, refusing to escalate despite Burke's provocation, highlights his temperament, a quality many see as essential for papal leadership. Supporters will likely point to his restraint as evidence of his suitability for higher roles, perhaps even the papacy. However, the public nature of this clash draws attention to the Church's ideological rifts at a time when unity is critical. Tagle's progressive allies might use this to underscore the need for a Church that prioritizes dialogue over confrontation. But his critics could exploit the incident to question his ability to navigate conflict. For Pope Leo XIV, who succeeded Francis in May 2025, this confrontation poses a delicate challenge. Elected as Cardinal Robert Prevost, Leo has signaled a continuation of Francis's legacy, calling for peace and unity in his first address. His response to this clash will be scrutinized. Does he mediate, seeking to bridge the gap between Burke's traditionalism and Tagle's progressivism? Does he side with Tagle, aligning with Francis's vision and risking further alienation of conservatives? Or does he issue a broader call for unity, avoiding direct engagement with the conflict? His approach will signal the tone of his pontificate, especially as he navigates a church described as divided between moderate and hardline sides. The drama's public nature amplifies its impact. Within minutes, details spread across social media, with hashtags trending globally. The Vatican's silence, yet to issue an official statement, has fueled speculation, filling the void with opinions from Catholics and non-Catholics alike. In a digital age, the Church can't hide its internal struggles. This public discord comes at a precarious time, as the Church battles declining relevance in secular societies and seeks to address global issues like poverty and conflict. A public feud between cardinals risks undermining its moral authority, making unity seem like a distant dream. For everyday Catholics, this high-level drama raises questions. Will these tensions trickle down to local parishes? Will priests and bishops feel pressured to pick sides? The faithful, sitting in pews on Sunday, may wonder how this affects their experience of faith. Historically, the Church has weathered internal conflicts, from the schisms of the Middle Ages to the debates of Vatican II, but today's real-time scrutiny makes privacy impossible. What once stayed behind closed doors now plays out on global screens, challenging the Church to address its divisions transparently. Church historians see parallels to past moments of tension, like the debates between Peter and Paul in the early Church, or the Reformation's upheavals. Yet, the public nature of this clash is distinctly modern. Burke's outburst and Tagle's restraint aren't just about two men. They're symbols of a church wrestling with its identity in the 21st century. Is Catholicism a fortress of unchanging truth, as Burke advocates, or a living faith that evolves with humanity, as Tagle embodies? This confrontation may force the Church to confront these questions head-on, potentially sparking overdue conversations about its future. Some analysts see this as a catalyst for change. By bringing these tensions into the open, the Church might finally address the fault lines between tradition and progress. Others fear it could weaken its global witness, presenting a fractured image to a world already skeptical of religious institutions. The reality is, this clash is about more than two cardinals. It's about authority, adaptation, and the Church's role in a rapidly changing world. It's a chapter in a 2,000-year story of faith navigating human imperfection. But here's where it gets personal. This isn't just about Vatican politics, it's about you. The Church's divisions mirror the fractures in our own lives, between holding firm to beliefs and opening up to others, between standing for truth and extending grace. Pope Leo XIV's call for building bridges, as he said in his first address, isn't just for cardinals, it's for every Catholic, every person. Are you clinging to your own traditionalism, afraid to engage with those who differ? Or are you so focused on inclusion that you risk losing your core? This confrontation challenges us to reflect. Are we bridge builders or wall makers? The world is watching. Will Burke apologize, standing by his concerns but regretting his approach? Will Tagle break his silence, offering insight into his restraint? Will Pope Leo XIV step in, modeling the unity he preached at his inauguration? The coming days will be critical. Something deeper is stirring. Rumors of further meetings, quiet moves within the Vatican, hinting at Leo's next steps. Is this a prelude to a broader reckoning? A prophetic moment for the Church? That's for the next video. If this story gripped you, like, share, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts below. Did Burke go too far, or was he defending the faith? Is Tagle's calm a strength or a liability? Share this with anyone curious about the Church's future, and stay tuned, because what's coming could change everything.